Welcome to a course in the dark and murky world of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology are often confused. Cryptocurrency has its share of skeptics and champions alike. Blockchain, we are told, will change the world. In this course, we're going to focus on cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was the brainchild of a person or persons who have called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto. And for simplicity, we will call Satoshi a he because to this date, no one understands the true identity of this particular white paper's author. The white paper, written in October of 2008, described a Bitcoin digital currency. The 9-page paper outlines the design of a system of electronic transactions that doesn't rely on trust in any one individual or institution. Satoshi was the first to solve the double spending problem for digital currencies using a peer-to-peer network. And that is, how can we be sure that if we use a digital currency, it's only spent once? Satoshi created the Bitcoin.org website, continued to collaborate with other developers on software development until about mid-2010 when he handed over control of the source code to several of the prominent developers in the Bitcoin community. He essentially disappeared anonymously after that point. In this course, we're going to share with you the case study of Quadriga CX, Canada's once largest cryptocurrency exchange. This story is full of audit and ethical considerations that illustrate the coming challenges auditors and managers alike will be confronted with as cryptocurrencies evolve and mature, perhaps one day to become a mainstream asset class and transactional currency of your clients. While cryptocurrency began in 2010, it really didn't rise to prominence until 2015, 2016. And by Christmas time of 2017, the cryptocurrency markets were at a frenzy. Individuals scrambling to get a piece of this action as prices kept doubling every few months. Fear of missing the next big thing was fueled by the media. Quadriga FinTech Solutions was launched late in 2013 and lasted until early of 2019, but you'll never believe what happened in between. Now, I myself took on the role of CFO for an emerging cryptocurrency company, which was one of the first companies to ever be audited in this space. Through the lessons I've learned and those that you can learn from the Quadriga CX case, we hope to accomplish the following learning objectives. First, I want to help you better understand cryptocurrency. Do you understand what all the fuss is about? Do you understand how cryptocurrency is different than the modern banking system? Second, we will explore the unique auditor considerations that arise when you're dealing with cryptocurrency. And finally, let's live and breathe some of the real ethical situations that have come up in this space. What would you do in a situation where rules are unwritten? What will guide you in making the tough decisions as you pioneer your way through an entirely new sector? We hope you will join us by enrolling in this course. See you in there. Thank you for enrolling in this course. In this initial lesson, I want to share with you how we got started in this space. From 2010 to 2016, few people had ever heard of a Bitcoin or even considered the possible of this notion of a cryptocurrency. Some of the earliest transaction of Bitcoin happened when, say, a pizzeria accepted the digital currency for a pie. No one had any idea how valuable these tokens, another word for cryptocurrency, would become just a few years later. Now, in 2017, 2018, Jen and I had two different clients working in the crypto space. And in fact, we received our first fee in a Bitcoin. Unfortunately, the timing of that payment came at precisely the time as the peak you saw in that previous chart. But that fee today is worth $1,000 and is embedded on a crypto key forged into this vault. Therein lies the problem with cryptocurrency in its earliest iterations. It's not easily accessible without understanding the technology. Now, had Bitcoin just remained a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, then the media probably would have left it alone. That part of the value proposition people understand. However, when the price of that Bitcoin started appreciating at an accelerating rate, suddenly a new investment class emerged which cost the interest of speculators. And that's when things started getting interesting. In January 2018, I agreed to actually become CFO of one of these new startups that had received $5 million in funding through a private placement of investors who were desperately looking for exposure to business models capitalizing on this cryptocurrency space. Of course, at that time, we had no systems, no people, no policies, no procedures. We had a big empty office where in it was the founder and myself, and we worked tirelessly for almost 5 days together, shoulder to shoulder, dealing with the strategically important issues of figuring out how to get a printer connected, finding a cleaner, and changing the soap in the bathroom. At the end of my first week, on a Friday night, however, I was having dinner with my family, and I can recall the CEO calling me to place an $800,000 Ether trade, Ether being another cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So when asked to make a trade that would see us invest nearly 20% of our capital, the ethical alarm bells went off like crazy in my head. So in a previous course that Jen and I have done on mastering your ethical intelligence, we have used a simple ethical model developed by Dr. Bruce Weinstein. The principles themselves are not earth-shattering. However, they have been proven through time to be tremendously helpful when confronted with making ethical decisions. Those principles are do no harm, make things better, respect others, be fair, and be loving. The key to making ethical decisions is to first recognize your ethics are at play. Secondly, consider alternative approaches and how you and other stakeholders could be impacted by each of those alternatives. Weinstein's 5 principles are helpful for screening the different approaches and hopefully reaching an ethically sound decision. So as I sat there and listened to the CEO's direction to place an $800,000 crypto trade on a Friday night, I politely objected, suggested it was premature to make such an investment in the absence of policies and procedures, but our board of directors was insistent that the trade be placed and that the trade couldn't even wait until Monday because the pullback in crypto prices was this golden opportunity not to be lost. Our investors had placed money with us to get exposure to crypto, not sit on a fiat currency. What I ended up doing is that I asked that the trade direction be made in writing. And I did this to protect myself, and once I received it, only then did I place the trade. In placing the trade, I excused myself from the dinner table, went out onto the street, and using Skype and the 24/7 global network of crypto traders, I placed the trade and got it filled in a few minutes. Filling the trade was one thing, settling the trade was quite another, because the banks had all sorts of questions around sending $1 million to a crypto exchange. By Monday, I had not settled that trade, and according to the exchange's policies, I only had 24 hours to settle my trade. And of course, I was anxious because by Monday, that initial trade was already up $100,000 just over the weekend. However, by Wednesday, when the bank finally was willing to process that wire to settle the trade, my trade was now down $100,000. That position would never recover to this day. In fact, that $800,000 position is only worth $112,000 as of the date of writing this course. These trades are facilitated by specialized crypto exchanges, which began popping up everywhere. And in Canada, the leading exchange at the time was Quadriga CX. Let's have a listen to learn more about what they were all about.
Introducing Quadriga CX, Canada's best Bitcoin exchange. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade Bitcoins, Quadriga CX is right for you. With numerous funding options, including bank wires, money orders, and even deposits from your online banking, you'll never have trouble moving funds into and out of your Quadriga CX account. Once you've funded your account, you'll be able to take part in our 24-hour live trading marketplace. Some of our other features include 24-hour account verification, 24/7 customer service, global withdrawal options, including direct payments to any Visa card worldwide, and much more. So next time you're in the market to buy, sell, or trade Bitcoins, be sure to visit quadrigacx.com, Canada's best Bitcoin exchange.
The pain point for most of those in the industry, particularly in the run-up of 2017, was just converting cash to buy cryptocurrency tokens, such as Bitcoin and Ether. From the video clip, you can see how Quadriga positions itself to address this challenge. In our next lesson, we're going to learn more about how cryptocurrency works. I'll see you there. Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to learn how cryptocurrency works and how it differs from traditional financial systems. Let's look at the standard way funds are transferred today. Today's banking system has people who want to send money to those who want to receive it. And to facilitate these transactions in a trustworthy fashion, we have financial intermediaries like banks and money service organizations like, say, Western Union. It's a highly regulated industry, but if anything was learned from 2008 was that the financial system is not without its weaknesses. For these services, these intermediaries charge a fee, and given the complexity of various intermediaries working together, sometimes it can take days to process a transaction. So, for instance, when I try to send money over to my Norwegian operations, I need to plan ahead for at least 2 days for a wire to clear from both sides of the ocean. Now, in the purity of the model designed by Satoshi, the financial intermediary is literally removed from the equation, thus eliminating that part of the friction in the system. In place of an intermediary, we now instead have a network of participants itself that would serve this function. The network of participants will validate the transactions through a process called mining, and once the transaction is validated, the transaction gets added to a distributed ledger called the blockchain. This ledger is maintained on thousands of computers around the world by a network of participants that are called nodes. Thus, as soon as I want to send funds, say, to my Norwegian operation, as fast as the miners validate the transaction, which is every 10 minutes, and it gets added to the blockchain, then the funds are transferred and received by those in Norway. So next, let's pause and make sure that we understand this idea that I referred to as mining. This is a picture of a crypto mining operation. It's basically a large room full of computer hardware. Mining is the process of solving a puzzle. And you'll hear the term called hash rate. And hash rate defines how many or how fast a computer operates in making these guesses to solve this puzzle. The higher the hash rate, the more likelihood that a miner will be the one who is successful in solving the puzzle, because mining is, generally speaking, a competitive exercise. Proof of work is what they call a protocol that has the main goal of deterring cyber attacks. Mining serves two purposes. First, to verify the legitimacy of a transaction and avoid the so-called double spending problem that we talked about at the outset of this course. And secondly, to create new digital currencies by rewarding those performing this service, the miners, new bitcoins or new tokens for performing this task. Now, proof of work is a very intensive energy sucking endeavor because there's a whole host of miners out there trying to solve this puzzle, but only one miner can be awarded the reward for solving the puzzle. So just how big is this energy consumption issue that I'm speaking of when I'm talking about this activity of crypto mining? Here's a chart, and it's even a couple years old at this point. Keep in mind that those computers locked up in this room, they use a tremendous amount of electricity, primarily for two reasons. First of all, to run those machines, and then secondly, to keep the facility or the room that they're in cool, because those machines produce a lot of heat. Miners target jurisdictions with low-cost power and cooler temperatures. Places like Quebec, Labrador, or Iceland are popular with crypto miners. But if you follow the industry, these miners have put such a strain on the local electric grid that local utilities have had to restrict power allocated to crypto mining. Now let's talk about cryptocurrency exchanges. When you use a crypto exchange to buy cryptocurrencies, the customer interface looks very much like your bank account or broker account that you would find with any financial institution. You can see your balances and all the crypto and fiat currencies. You can see your transactions. You can see trading boards with the offers and bids. The unique aspects of crypto trading is that it's a 24/7 endeavor. It literally never stops. Typical settlement periods are 24 hours versus the 3 days you might find in traditional brokerage accounts. It's also helpful to point out how one actually holds cryptocurrency, since it's not something that can be withdrawn at an ATM or where you can write a check for. Cryptocurrencies are held in electronic wallets, and these wallets have public keys for which make them visible to anyone who has that key, as well as private keys which are necessary to transact. There are two types of wallet, a proverbial hot and cold wallet. Hot wallets are like carrying cash, whereas a cold wallet is more like your savings account. A hot wallet could be used for everyday spending of your cryptocurrencies, and typically you'll only hold, say, a small amount of any particular token. Very similar to, say, a real wallet that you keep on you in your day-to-day basis. Cold wallets, on the other hand, are used for the long-term secure storage of cryptocurrencies and would typically hold your larger amounts of money and that are not intended to be touched very frequently. Hot wallets are always connected to the internet to be readily available for use, whereas your cold wallets are only ever connected to the internet to make a transaction or move money out of them, which is not very often, and in fact you only do it when you have to reduce the risk of being hacked. But the issues lie within the security of the keys for these wallets. Now, when you transact through a crypto exchange to hold these tokens, often the exchange themselves hold these wallets in trust for you or hold the tokens in an account in trust for you. In the case of Quadriga, or another infamous crypto failure, Mt. Gox in Japan, where $500 million in cryptocurrency was lost, the loss of the tokens is directly related to the level of security around these wallets. It's not a function of the Bitcoin network itself or the blockchain. Those are highly secure. In our next lesson, we're going to dive one level deeper to explore blockchain technology and its characteristics so that you can consider its application beyond just cryptocurrency.